What's going on, eighth grade? This is going to be about the Civil War, and I'm going to Civil War battles, and I'm going to tell you guys what they were about. Today, I'm going to use my Mr. Rogers voice for y'all that don't know Mr. Rogers. Maybe y'all should look him up. He was real big when we were young. So, today, students, the war begins. As you can see, the Civil War territories were the North was the blue, and the South was the purple. This is beginning after the War of the Spanish American War, where we obtained California and its territories. So as you can see, California are still in blue, but they are also still a part of the Union. Texas is probably the furthest one that you can see over here. West, the furthest western Confederate state is Texas, right here. Now, these are the economic war wants. And what I mean by that is this is what they wanted economically, each side. The North wanted poor whites to have equal employment. They were vastly underemployed because the slave population that would take their jobs and make them have to continuously move on from job to job. So they wanted equal employment rights so they could feed their families and do things of that nature. The Transcontinental Railroad was big because of the industrial society that the North had built up. So they needed a new railroad. And that railroad had to go cross country now that they had California and that territory as well. So they wanted more of an industrial society to win out. And we're going to take a look at today's questions in a minute, and they're going to ask you one that says, who were the supporters of the Transcontinental Railroad? Well, obviously, it was mainly Northern senators and Northern generals and Northern politicians. International approval. At this point, slavery was actually internationally outlawed. The United States was still the only country that had slaves. Slavery was outlawed in Africa, England, all of the countries, except for America. So it made it hard to have trade partners when you're not, when people look down on you for having slaves. The South had slavery profits to maintain. They didn't want to lose the slave money that they were making, the money for not paying workers, the money for not having to really feed workers the way that they would have to. If they had to pay the workers, they would have to pay them a livable wage, something that means that you're going to have to pay these people enough money that they can live on their own. They didn't want to have to do that. They wanted to have slaves always to make them money, and it made their profits larger. Control of the cotton trade. Now, control of the cotton trade was very, very big. And when they had control of the cotton trade, they were very big in trading internationally with other countries. Now, slavery wasn't a big deal, but because the cotton was so cheap, England was a very large trading partner with the South, and later on would even try to help the South win the war. Now, as you know, there are some things that wars are wanted. Wars are done for resources, obviously, economic reasons, and social reasons when they want to try to change the outlook of a person or outlook of a community. The North wanted immigration of other countries. The North because of immigration from other countries, like the Irish and the Polish and the Scottish into the north, changed the politics. They had a lot more minority leaders, that a lot more people that wanted equal. The Irish were really persecuted during this time, and people didn't want them in the country. So they were also another group that were living in poor and economic slums, just like the African Americans of that time. Like I said before, slavery was internationally outlawed. So the North wanted to open up their trade routes with more of the world and knew that if they could do this, they would be able to economically grow. The country would grow. So they wanted to get along with the rest of the world. That was a social issue that they had. The African Americans of the North were more house slaves. They didn't work in the fields as much. So they took care of people's children and they took care of people's homes. And those children would grow up and see the people that took care of them and not want them to be in that situation where they were slaves. They wanted to see them grow their own families. So the politics and the social awareness of the North started to change as well. In the South had more African Americans than they had whites. So you needed to make sure that you kept control. And the only way to keep control was to keep them into a situation where they couldn't rise up or couldn't fight or couldn't do anything to threaten that power. The Southerners had so much farmland and property, and they couldn't tend their own fields. They needed this mass amount of slaves to tend the fields down in the South. They needed it. So they wanted to keep the slaves mentally chained to field work, to working in the fields more and more, but they also had house slaves that saw the difference. The North just had more. Now, as the war began, the North was losing badly. Even though they had a larger population, the South was firmly going up north, continuously winning battles and fighting battles up north until they reached Gettysburg. And you see how far north Gettysburg is. If you take a look at this map, the time period shows 1862, 1861, when the war was going on. Most of these battles were up here. This is where you see later years, 1863, 1864, where these battles began to be further down south and the North started to make an indent into their territory. Now, a Union blockade of the ports was because, like I said before, England wanted the South to win. So they were still giving supplies to the South. So the Union decided to block the South's ports so they could no longer get supplies and cut them off. As you can see, as this map continues, this is 1864, this is towards the end of the battle. And the reason I put this map up is to show you the Transcontinental Railroad. That's the green line here. At this point, during the war and at the end of the war, the Transcontinental Railroad was going from north to south, north to south. Now remember, I told you the Union was an industrial society. So with the Union being an industrial society and having territory this way in California, they wanted this train to reach that way. And this is where the Missouri and all these issues started to boil over. Bloody Kansas was here, as you can see where the railroad stops. So economically, people don't really look at how important the railroad was to the Civil War. And this will show you, after the Civil War, the railroad is complete, all the way to California, all the way. This is Missouri right here, in this area here, and they made a line all the way to California after the Civil War. Now, here are your questions. Who were the major supporters of the Transcontinental Railroad? As I just told you, the North had a very big, wanted the Transcontinental Railroad to reach California. What year was the Emancipation Proclamation? I want you to take a look at that. The Emancipation Proclamation, the war ended in 1865. Take a look and see what year the Emancipation Proclamation was and wonder why was that so early before the end of the world war. How many people died in the Civil War? The Civil War is known to be one of the largest wars ever, and it's definitely the largest war the United States ever took part in. What political party was Abraham Lincoln a part of? This is where we begin another social aspect. Abraham Lincoln's father, I told you in the last one, was a, a white farmer. So he had political reasons and why he wanted to take part in this war. And why was the Emancipation Proclamation important if it didn't officially free the slaves? The slaves weren't freed until the 13th Amendment. So why did the Emancipation Proclamation free the slaves, or why was it so important that they believed that it did? Take a look back at this PowerPoint and it will help you. So good luck. This assignment isn't due until next week. Like I said, I'm just trying to keep you guys busy. Make sure you understand that you're going to high school, and high school will be virtual. So you better get used to this because it's going to get a lot harder, even though this is very hard as it is. So have a good afternoon and see you later, 8th grade.